Hi, I'm Randy Saylor. I represent a group of investors who want to buy your home. We want to make this a win-win situation. So if you're flexible on either price or terms, we would love to buy your home. Let's talk about the options. Cash offer. Pretty straightforward. We will pay cash with a marketable title. We're going to pay up to 78 cents on the dollar. We're not going to pay retail. Investors will not pay retail. Most investors won't pay retail, but we'll give you up to 78% of the fair market value for your home, minus any repairs that are needed. Okay, the second option I want to talk to you about is, again, pretty self-explanatory, cash to new mortgage. Meaning that the investor is going to seek outside financing. So with that, there's going to be some conditions to the sale, unlike a cash sale. The closing process is going to take up to 45 days. They want to make sure that it's a clear and marketable title, which is the same case for a cash sale. But also there's some other conditions that the lender is going to require, one of which is a satisfactory appraisal. Then also, if it's a rental property, most lenders are going to want to make sure that there's a bona fide tenant in there. There's a rent roll history, also to make sure that it's rental compliant with the local municipality. So if that's properly annually registered, and that it's up to any type of inspections, and those are current, and there's no outstanding violations to the home. So with that, assuming that there's a clean bill of health, our investor pool will pay pretty much retail for that home. So that's something to keep in mind as well. The third option that I want to talk about is the assumption of your existing loan. Now, there's qualifying assumptions and then there's non-qualifying assumptions. We're okay on our end with either. Even though that most mortgages have a due on sale clause, meaning that if you convey any type of equity or ownership in that property to someone else, that violates or enacts the due on sale clause. We've never seen that happen. That is an option that the lender has, but we're comfortable and would agree to go ahead and pay the loan off if need be. So the assumption is really agreeing on a purchase price and assuming the existing terms of your existing loan and paying the difference if there is a difference to be paid. The downside to you is that you are still on the hook for that mortgage, in addition to the new buyer. So the lender can hold both of you guys responsible. So you want to make sure that if you're selling the home to someone who is assuming your mortgage, whether it be qualified or unqualified, that it doesn't exonerate you from any potential liability going forward. So you want to make sure that you're dealing with people that are collectible, that you could take the house back from, or it would be in their worst interest to let the house go into default by structuring it properly. The fourth option that I want to talk to you about is what we refer to in the Midwest, definitely here in Michigan, is a land contract. That is where the buyer and the seller come to terms on price, interest rate, payment, and the duration of the loan. That agreement is recorded at the county, and then upon satisfaction of that agreement, you then agree to convey title. So it's a great way to lock in a purchase price for the investor without a lot of qualifications. It's a great way for the seller to get more of a premium by offering seller financing. And again, this can enact the due on sale clause. But again, I've never seen that happens. But if you were to sell to one of our investment group, we would take that responsibility and that risk. And so if it ever was enacted, we would then of course come in and pay the loan off in full. it acts, there's a collection or redemption period that's small or a shorter time period than a conventional mortgage. So you want to make sure you get enough downstroke, enough down payment from your buyer, just in case you have to take the property back, because that could take between 6 to 8 months if you're really diligent and on top of it, the process. But it's a potential great win-win situation. Again, when you're dealing with sophisticated investors who are collectible, who are accountable, who know how to dispose of that property properly, then it's a great tool for you. You don't pay commissions to real estate agents. You get more of a premium on the price. You get some interest differential. You know, you're going to receive more in interest payments rate than what you're paying. So it's a great option for the right buyer and seller, and we encourage that. We buy a lot of properties that way. My investment pool does. And then thirdly, there's the lease with an option to purchase. So it's two separate contracts. You have a bona fide lease that is completely in compliance with the state for which it's written in, and then you have an option that's given to the buyer. That option is one in which they can enact within a certain period of time. That option identifies the actual purchase price, any option consideration money that's applied toward the purchase price if they choose to exercise their option, any monthly credits that's been negotiated that's applied toward the purchase price, and then they've got a certain period of time to exercise that option, and if they do, they get all those credits. The sellers agreed in advance to give them all of those credits, and it's a win-win situation. The great side for the seller is that if the buyer or the optionee does not exercise their option, it just becomes a lease, and all those credits that was then available to them for the purchase become non-refundable. Okay, those are the options that we have available to buy your home. If none of those are appealing to you, keep this in mind. When we buy these homes, we offer financing to our end buyers, people who can't get a mortgage right now. We work with them to help build their credit so they can eventually afford to get a mortgage and cash us out. Leave your information, or you can email me directly at randy@autumnpropertymanagement.com, and we can look at your profile and see how we can help you there. Have a nice day.